Welcome back, Internet. I'm Keeney. This is my garage. That is the 2013 LML. And the story goes the guy was just driving along, and the check engine light came on. The StabiliTrak message came on. The vehicle went into limp mode, and the Prindle disappeared. I think, like, just either the highlight around it or the underline around the Prindle for the gear selection went away. There were no prior issues to this, no prior malfunction indicator lamps, no check engine lights before, nothing at all. Everything was fine, and then boom, he had the issue. I did scan it for codes when he dropped it off. We got a few modules that are setting faults for loss of comm with transmission control module. And I think that was about all I've really got on this one. Did a pre-check, seems to be in pretty good shape overall. Let's go ahead and jump into her. We'll reconnect the scan tool, make sure we know what faults we're staring at to refresh my memory as well. Then perhaps we'll try to clear some, save some, whatever some, and we'll see if our transmission controller is online per the scan tool as well. That's what I know. Let's go get after it. While our scan tool is getting connected on up, this does start and run to drive it in. Does have reverse gear and does have one of the higher forward gears, whether it's third, fourth, or something like that. I don't recall, but we definitely have some high forward gear. We don't like to crawl very well, and she bangs into gear like driving reverse with like full line pressure. It's a little uncomfortable. Just got her scanned. Looks like the transmission control module is offline. We can go through these. Here's all our modules and the greatest glares as always. We're just going to call this channel the greatest glares channel. And TCM is offline. We hit a list view. PCM, lost common TCM, temp sensor in the reductant tank. Oh yeah, this thing has full emissions still intact on it. I forget the mileage, like 100 or 150,000, something like that. Still using full emissions. Very impressive. But yes, so that is a true fault, it looks like. Lost comm, TCM, voltage, communication, TCM erratic, lost comm, TCM, tank temp. I don't care about HVAC stuff. Passenger compartment. I don't really care about that stuff. And nothing else in all the others. So I'll just go ahead and clear all this real quick and see if it changes anything. We've already got this saved, but very likely we're just going after a TCM communication issue. Cleared codes, reread codes, lost comm TCM, lost comm TCM, lost comm TCM, lost comm TCM. Definitely looks like we're going after the TCM. So we will go ahead on service info for your powers grounds communication and go find that TCM. I think in this one that's up under the hood somewhere, I think. I don't really remember, but we'll figure out the wiring and go start testing. Righto, there is our transmission controller on the radiator. Here is our connector view with powers, grounds, communication stuff marked. We've got a TCM diagram, powers and grounds, and then we've got some communication stuff. This communication does not apply to this vehicle. This is for the other transmission options. So from EF to EF, this is what we got going here. And looking at this particular diagram right here, the engine computer looks like it is downstream of the transmission computer, which is downstream of, I don't know if we have PTO. This one does not have a PTO. Which is downstream of the glow plug module. Well, we can talk to the glow plug module, and we can talk to the engine computer, assuming this is the right package. I don't see a specific. Oh yeah, here you go. 3 of 6 diesel. So this should be our correct diagram. So if we can talk to that one and that one, That tells me very likely we've got communication through the TCM. I'm more interested in power and ground issues with this dude. So I think we're going to go ahead and check power and ground. That's what I got highlighted here. I forgot to highlight one. We'll go up there, check powers and ground, and see if we're missing any of those dudes. Oh, we got the cover peeled off. We got the two little push pins, kind of swinging that out of the way so we have access to it. We're going to go ahead and key on. Key. There it is. Keys on. And start going through our list here. I don't know if you can kind of see that. We'll see what you can see. We'll just touch on battery here real quick. Can you see the change? Oh, look at that. You can see the change. That would be 12 volts right there, or just a smidge over. Our first pin. I'm going to leave this fan in case it's blowing in the mic. And I'm going to turn the headlights off so we don't burn the battery or kill it any more than we have to. Alright, so the first one is going to be power. It says ignition 1 voltage, pin 2, which is a pink, and white with a white tracer. And man, I'll tell you what, GM was, I was thinking, what's your dipstick, Jimmy? Because these numbers on the back of this connector are rather large. So here we go. Here's our pink and white. Here's our pink and white. Here's our pink and white. Well, we already found it. Should we have started at the fuse box? I'm not sure. Let me see if I can. It's not going in very snug, so I'm not sure I'm going. I don't know if we're going deep enough to make contact. Okay, there it is. 12 volts. Now the question is, oops, I forgot to grab a alligator clamp for my test light there. Let me go grab that real quick. Now I think we got all the attachments and accoutrements to do our power and ground test. Test light right now is connected to battery negative. At least I hope it is. So that way when we touch battery positive, it should light. Well, that's fun. Let me figure out my test light doesn't work. Alright, now I think we got a working test light. We didn't have a good connection on our ground. Hey, look at that, it lights up. Goodness sakes. Alright, we'll just leave that dangle. I'm sure you can see the glow of its aura whenever it lights because it's fairly bright. Alright, there's 12 volts on the scope. We'll hold that pin in there. We'll touch this one. Boom, we got light. Alright, so that one works. Let's put a little check mark off to our ignition 1 voltage. Let's go ahead and go down to, we'll test all the powers first. I think there's 4 powers. 63, pin 63 is a pink and white. Pin 63. There's 60. Oh, looky there, there's pin 63, and it's another pink and white. So we will touch that dude in there and try to find connection. Searching connection, man. I see you had a bump to 12. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. All right, got 12 on the scope. Go ahead and get our test light and touch. It lights. Cool. Let's put a check mark next to that one. I think it's 2 out of 4 powers. Next one is battery positive. Pin 70. Red with white. 70. It looks like a pink with white. I don't know if it's red. I guess it's red. So 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, that should be it. Alright, we'll flush our pin in there. Hey, we got 12 volts. Well, that's interesting. And we got a test light that's lighting. Well, I guess our powers are good. Let's see, where is that? Pin 70. Check. And now, do we only have 3 powers? Oh, nope, we missed one. Pin 10. Battery positive voltage. And pin 10 is a red and white. There's a red and white. Pin 10. Hey, we got 12 volts. Come in here, touch this dude. Boom, we got light. Well, seems we got all our powers. Put a check mark next to these out here, be a little bit easier for me to track. Let me set this up and we will go to our ground test next. Righto, we should be now configured for ground testing. For ground testing on the scope to make sure I got connection, what I usually do is I zoom in super far. We'll pull this out. So like a 50 millivolt scale, and you'll get some noise, like you can wiggle this thing around, get a bunch of noise on it. But when you touch ground, what I find is the noise will change. Sometimes it gets quieter, most of the time it gets louder, so I'm going to go ahead and touch ground to ground. Boom, see how loud that got? All I'm doing is touching ground. And so that's how I guess I can show you with the actual camera. This is how I figure out if I'm actually backpinned into a circuit or not, and I can't tell. Obviously, pretty obvious at 12 volts, but here's our scope negative lead connected to ground, and ooh, that light's hot. And all I'm going to do is just touch ground, so it's ground to ground, and we can see all that noise. So we're not on ground. I'm going to touch ground, so you can see I'm touching, and then I'm going to let go of ground. It gets quiet. So when I see all that noise, I know there's a high probability I've made contact with our ground circuit. And then likewise, the test light should be set up so that when it touches ground, it should light. Let's see if that's grounded. Hey, that is grounded. All right, now I'll set that right. I'm certain to burn myself here shortly. Looks like our first ground is going to be on pin 9, which is a black with white. So let's hit pin 9, a black with white, and we'll watch our scope, wait for it to get super noisy. Oh, that is power. I want this one, which is ground. Boom, super noisy. And then we'll take our test light. Ooh, we don't break it. Touching the back side of that. Boom, it lights up. And you can see too, I don't know if it'll show me. Let me see if I can change the scale without it deleting everything. Oh, it did. So you can see when we run the test light to it, it jumps up to 200 millivolts. So it's obviously, picking up the ground a little bit with a heavy load right there. But anyway, that's how this is my methodology for discovering if I'm on a ground or not. There you go. We're on a 200 millivolt scale right now. Anyway, first ground was good. That would have been pin 9. Next ground is going to be, there's a low reference, which is pin 58. We'll come back to that one. No, we'll go ahead and check it. Usually low reference is is for sensors and stuff I see, but they usually will carry a quick ground. We'll just do it very brief. May want to check it with like a 1/4 amp test light, but we'll tap on it real quick and see if it does it. Anyway, so our low reference first one is pin 58, and it's a tan. Let's find pin 58. Oops, wrong one. Pin 58. There is 60, 59, 58. There's 58 with a tan. Dude, GM, I'm happy with the accessibility of these pins and colors and terminal sizes or number sizes and all that such. It is very nice. Makes life easy. Oh, there's a bunch of noise. So we should have good connection. I'll go ahead, stick our test light in the back. Boom, it lit up and jumped off the screen. That one jumped a little bit higher. Oh, that one jumped up 350 millivolts. Anyway, that's all right. We know it works. Check that one off the list. That is our low ref pin 58. Check. Next one is pin 69, which is a black and white. Pin 69, black and white. Ooh. Oh, that ain't right. That jumped off scale. Let's do 20 volt scale. Make sure I didn't jump the wrong pin there. Hang on. Because the one right next to it's power. So 69 is ground, 70 is power. We're looking for 69, which is ground, to make sure it jumped on the side that is not next to power. Nothing. Nothing. Did I jump? Maybe I stuck it in the wrong hole because there's 12. There's power. Now I go back to ground. Oh, heck, I may have stuck it in the wrong hole. Let's go and zoom back in again. Let's see if I can't get it right. Oh, probably my arm's probably in the way. Okay, oh, there's a bunch of noise. So apparently I stuck it in the wrong hole or jump pins as I went through it or something. We will touch our test slot. Boom. We got good ground there. And that one jumped up to 350 millivolts, it looks like. Well, we're running low on options here, ain't we? That was pin 69. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 wires left, and that's it. We've got 4 communications, and we got 4 of the high-speed GM LAN serial data communications, and we've got 1 accessory wake-up serial data communication. Just for grins, we touch stuff here. Keys on. Let's go hit vehicle. Let's go topology. Let's just hit fault scan. See if you can see what I'm doing. Let's make sure the TCM didn't come back online. It's the second one here, so it's scanning right now. Okay, does not look like the TCM is online still. Man, this dude just shuck his PCM or his TCM rather, going down the road. That's unique. I really didn't expect that. So TCM's still offline. We'll let that continue to go through. Our next one is going to be one of the GM LAN serial data plus. This is pin 6. So we'll go to our scope. It'll probably bring us back there in a minute here anyway. We'll set it on a 5-volt scale. And we will grab our scope lead. I guess we didn't need to go to the fuse box first here. That's pretty cool. Pin 6, which is a tan and black. Pin 6 is a tan and black. I see it. That looks an awful lot like serial data communication. I'll zoom in a lot further. That looks to me like pretty good communication. How does it look? Yeah, that looks pretty healthy to me, boss. Go ahead and hit play again. Let me check that one off our list. That was pin 6. Next one looks like pin 27, which is going to be GM LAN serial data bus negative. And this is a tan, 27 tan. 27 tan, there it is. Oh, I had it. There she is. But it looks like an upside down bus. I'd say this thing's got calm. Man, this thing probably shucked a module. You gotta be kidding. That was a pretty fast diagnostic, I guess. I mean, all the messages look good. Nice square shoulders. Got a nice, what is that, a 1-volt swing or something? 1.5 to 2.5. Yeah. Man, it looks good. Well, that was for 27 or something. 27. Check that one off the list. Let's do GM LAN speed minus the other side because the network goes through this computer, goes 2 in, 2 out. So the other one is going to be pin 47 tan. So 47 tan. Looks like they're all right in a row. Well, that looks about like the same message, don't it? You know what we're going to do too, just to be safe on this. Well, we know when this thing goes around. I'll explain what I'm going to say here. I think I already did it earlier, but I'll just give a little bit further of an explanation because it's going to be a short video anyway. So maybe this will help. So we can see here's a TCM. So glow plug controller works, engine computer works, and those wires go through the TCM. We could stick another scope lead, to make sure the messages align. I'll do that just for fun. That way we'll look at, 66 and 6 and 47 and 27. And, you know, those two should be the same. Those two should be the same, just to make sure we're not dropping any messages through the TCM. Very likely we're not, but I'll just get it set up. There we are set up on the two negatives. The messages are identical. We are not dropping any frames or messages through the transmission computer. They're the same for sure. So now we can, I'll reset my time base there. Now we'll switch to the positive sides. So I'll drag, we'll grab green, and then we'll move this to positive. So pin 6, there's pin 6. Okay, there it is. Oh, well, we just lost it. Ah, there it is. Now we can see. So we'll zoom in real far. Should be the same square wave, just upside down. It is. They look the same, just inverted. And so we'll now move our red pin to the other plus, which is the last one we haven't checked yet for the GM LAN. The other plus is pin 66, which is a tan and black. So pull red out. And then 66. Right there, tan and black. Boom. Green fell out. Oh, there's green. So for sure, we're not dropping any messages across the transmission computer. We got one wire left, and we're going to call a transmission computer. We got the serial wake up, whatever. So we'll pull green out, pull red out, hit play, reset our time base. We'll zoom out on this one because I don't know what it's going to look like. I assume it'll look very similar to serial data. We will check off this high speed. We checked off this high speed. Yeah, we got one pin left. Number 43, dark blue. Accessory, wake up. 43, dark blue. 43, dark blue. There's 40. There's 43, dark blue. Looks like it just went high. Let's try it again. Oh, there it is. So apparently this is like a 12 volt wake up signal. We'll hit the 20 volt scale. Looks like it's at 11.8 volts, and our actual battery voltage right now is 12.6. We got a charger on the other side, the key on. Yeah, 12.6 battery voltage, 11.8 on our wake up signal. And so with that, I'll just leave that sitting right here. We'll go cycle the key. Let's see if this changes at all. I'll leave that set up. So we're really watching red. See what happens when we turn the key off. So key is off. I guess I'll just let this sit here and see how long it takes for that to go low. I'm assuming that thing will go low at some point. Well, it didn't have to wait very long. So it just went low, down there 0 volts. And we'll let the trace reset, and then we'll key it back on. I expect it to go back to 12. All right, we're keying on. Key on, 12 volts. Well, folks, that is what I would call a transmission computer. We got power ground communication. I will go through and reread all this to make sure I didn't miss something. But yeah, this dude needs one of those things. Old module, new module. We just got back from a test drive. Everything went very well. We have no codes, or no relevant codes. Rather, we've got codes for driver door switch, control compartment lamp, passenger door switch, something or other. Yeah, that's it. We completed a quick learn on it. We went for a test drive, and she is rocking and rolling. Pretty straightforward on this one. I don't really remember where we left off in the last video because that was like a week ago or something. Took a while for this controller to come in. Everything should be squared away on it. In case, I hope this was helpful for somebody out there, and I will catch y'all up in the next video.